Lagos 2025. The sun rises over the Atlantic, a river of liquid gold. On the 28th floor of Akko Atlantic's tallest tower, a man stands alone in a glass office. His name is Otunba Adewale Coker, but everyone calls him the King of Lagos. He's 58, tall, with a silver beard, always dressed in a white agbada, its gold embroidery costing more than most people's homes. Behind him, the entire city seems to kneel in submission. A private jet waits on the helipad, 3 Rolls-Royces are parked downstairs, and his face adorns every billboard from Lekki to Victoria Island. But today, his eyes are red. He's staring at a single photograph, a 17-year-old boy in a secondary school uniform. His only son, Tobi. Otunba built everything for Tobi, every contract he secured, every oil block he acquired, every politician he put in his pocket was all for the day Tobi would wear the crown. But just last night, Tobi looked him dead in the eye and said, "Dad, I don't want your empire. I want to be a musician." At first, Otunba laughed. Then his laughter turned to shouting, and the shouting gave way to tears. No one has ever seen the King of Lagos cry. He picks up his phone, his voice cold as steel. "Bring my son home, now." The scene shifts to the University of Lagos. Tobi is on stage with his band, Third Mainland Sons. The crowd of students is electric, screaming his name. Tobi sings as if the spirit of Fela himself is living in his throat. Girls are fainting in the front row, boys are recording, and the video is already trending online. Suddenly, black Sprinter vans screech to a halt. 6 men in sharp black suits jump out. They storm the stage and drag Tobi away mid-performance. The students erupt in anger, booing and throwing bottles. Phones are held high, live streaming the chaos. Within 20 minutes, the hashtag #FreeTobi is trending nationwide. Thrown into the back of the van, Tobi looks at the biggest bodyguard and flashes a defiant smile. "Tell my father," he says, "the crown is too heavy for my head." Back in the glass tower, Otunba watches the video of his son being dragged away. His hand trembles. The city he owns, the city he commands, suddenly feels like it's laughing at him. He calls his wife, Funmi, who's on a shopping trip in Paris. "Let the boy breathe, Adewale," she says calmly. He hangs up on her. That night, sleep refuses to come. He finds himself walking into Tobi's old room, a room that remains exactly as it was when Tobi was 10. The toys are untouched, gathering dust. He sits on the small bed, the weight of his empire pressing down on him, and whispers to the empty room, "I just wanted you to have what I never had." The next morning, Otunba makes a decision. He will break Tobi or he will lose him forever. He freezes all of Tobi's bank accounts. He cancels the boy's passport. He calls every single venue owner in Lagos with a chilling threat. "If my son performs on your stage, you will never work in this city again." But Tobi doesn't break. He moves into a cramped face-me-I-face-you apartment in Yaba with his bandmates. To mock his father, he changes his stage name to Omo Aba, son of the king. His first underground show, promoted only by word of mouth, sells out in 3 hours. A grainy video of him singing his new anthem, "I No Want Throne," gets a million views overnight. In his private cinema, alone, Otunba watches the video. He doesn't know whether to feel proud or utterly destroyed. He sends his lawyer with a contract. The offer: sign this, take 500 million naira, and leave Nigeria forever. On Instagram Live, Tobi tears the papers to shreds. Seeing the cracks in the king's armor, Otunba's rivals begin to smell blood. They start leaking stories of his old bribes, his ruthless land grabs, his enemies who mysteriously disappeared. The EFCC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, invites him for tea. For the first time in 30 years, Otunba Adewale Coker is scared. At 2 in the morning, he drives himself, alone, to Yaba. He finds Tobi sleeping on a thin mattress on the floor of a crowded room. For the first time in months, father and son talk. "I was beaten every day as a child," Otunba confesses, his voice cracking. "I swore no child of mine would ever suffer." Tobi looks back at him, his own eyes filled with a different kind of pain. "You gave me everything," he replies, "except the right to choose." Otunba leaves without another word. But the next morning, he makes one phone call and lifts the city-wide ban on his son's performances. Tobi's next concert is at Freedom Park. 20,000 people show up. The energy is explosive. Even the police officers assigned to crowd control are dancing. At the back of the crowd, hidden in the shadows and wearing a simple cap so no one can recognize him, stands Otunba. When Tobi sings the chorus of his hit song, "My Father Built a Kingdom, I Just Want a Song," the king of Lagos breaks down and cries like a baby. After the show, they meet under the large tree where Fela Kuti himself used to perform. Otunba makes a final offer, "Rule with me for 5 years, he pleads. "Then the empire is yours to burn or to keep." Tobi just laughs. "I don't want to rule. I want you to come to my show next week. Front row, no security. Just you." For a man who hasn't sat in a public crowd in 30 years, it's a terrifying request. But he says yes. The night of the next concert arrives. There, in the front row, sits Otunba, dressed in simple Ankara fabric, no expensive watch on his wrist, no phone in his hand. The crowd goes wild when they recognize him. Tobi stops the show, smiles, and brings his father on stage. He hands him the microphone. Otunba is shaking. He looks out at the sea of faces, then at his son, and says only 8 words, "I am proud of you, Tobi, I'm sorry." The entire park explodes. Phones are up, streaming live to the world. The hashtag #OTUNBA cries trends globally. On stage, father and son hug as the band plays Fela's classic, "Water No Get Enemy." The next morning, every newspaper headline reads, "The king bows to his son." Otunba steps down as chairman of all his companies, handing the reins to a board that includes Tobi's name, but only as creative director. He then starts a foundation, funding music scholarships for 10,000 street kids across Lagos. 3 months later, Tobi's first album drops. The first track is titled "My Father's Tears." It goes diamond in Nigeria in 1 week. Grammy nominations follow. Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido, everyone is posting the video of the father-son hug. 1 year later, Otunba, now grayer and thinner, sits in a studio watching Tobi record. He is no longer the king of Lagos. He is simply Baba Tobi, and he has never smiled wider. In the final scene, we are on the Third Mainland Bridge at night. Father and son stand by the rail, watching the city lights dance on the dark water below. Tobi looks at his father and says, "You know, the crown wasn't too heavy after all." Otunba looks back at him, a gentle smile on his face. "No, son, I was the one who was too heavy." They both laugh, 2 small figures against the glowing, sprawling megacity. The camera pulls back, and as they fade into the landscape, the words appear. "Some thrones are not made of gold. Some are made when a father learns to kneel." Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.